All right, good evening to you all. Thank you for joining us in yet another edition of this training. We are coasting close to the end of the training on emotional intelligence. We are left with one module and 2 units to complete the training on emotional intelligence. And for those of you that have been following, we have been studying various components of emotional intelligence and how we can apply emotional intelligence in several situations. And in our last training, we were looking at how you can apply emotional intelligence in conflict resolution. So today, I want to especially welcome you once again on behalf of the Governing Council of the Institute of Global Peace and Conflict Management. The emotional intelligence training is coming to our participants free, and it's one of the things that we are committed to do, and it's also part of our mandate to educate the general populace so that they can promote peace, so that they can bring about justice in our system, so that they can bring about conflict resolutions in our environment. So it was just beckoned on us as an organization to provide this training for those who are interested and avail themselves to learn the act of emotional intelligence and how they can apply their emotional intelligence in various situations, in families, in workplaces, environment, in our community organizations, and even our personal interactions with other individuals. And a good number of you have been on this journey, and we really appreciate you, your commitment and your dedication, which has also spurred us to even do more. And like we have said, by next month, that is, we are finishing our training on Monday, and then on Tuesday, we'll be starting on alternative dispute resolution. And so if you have not registered for alternative dispute resolution, go ahead and register. It's going to be free as well. People used to ask me, are you sure it's going to be free? Are there any hidden charges? There are no hidden charges at all. It's totally 100% free. No hidden charges. You're not paying any kobo from training to certification. Do you understand? The only kobo you are going to pay is the data you use to join the training. That's all. Apart from that, if you are on a free mode, you can still join. So there's no challenge. But if you have data, you can still join. So that is all you're going to pay. And your time, because time too is money. Do you understand? The time you are going to spend to participate in the training are the things that are going to cost you time and your data, and that's all. Otherwise, the training is 100% free. We're not charging you for anything. So I want to encourage those that are interested to participate in the alternative dispute resolution to go ahead and register. Don't be afraid. It's 100% free. You can ask those that are participating in our peace education and those that are participating in our emotional intelligence training. It's free. We are not charging anything. No hidden charges whatsoever. So thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Ambassador Joshua, and I welcome you today in today's training. Intelligence strategies in resolving and managing conflicts. All right. How do we deploy all the strategies to resolve and manage conflicts, or to manage and resolve conflicts, different types of conflict that may come our way? So this is what we're going to look at today. So I want to appreciate you. If you join us, you can also do way to share it with people who may want to also learn something new. You can share it so that they can also be part of the training as well. So as we're coming close to the end of the training, if you are not, I have sent the manual. If you have not gotten the manual from the manual that covers 3 weeks, past 3 weeks of our training, please go ahead and then participate and get the training, get the manual so that you can read from it. So let's go ahead and look at what we have today. All right. Let's go ahead and have a look at what we have today. Well, today we are looking at emotional intelligence strategies for conflict resolution. All right. So applying emotional intelligence skills to manage and resolve conflicts. There are several skills that we have talked about when it comes to emotional intelligence, and you have been learning as well. Now we are talking about how you can apply these skills, all right, to resolve conflict. How you can apply these skills that you have acquired now to resolve conflict in your home, in your workplace, in the community, in the marketplace, in personal interactions. How can you apply emotional intelligence strategies to resolve various conflicts that may come your way? All right. So we look at some of the strategies that you can use, and we'll look at some of the examples that are applied. Do you understand? So let's look at self-awareness, for instance. Now, you know, self-awareness is one of the skills that you need to have when it comes to emotional intelligence. Do you understand? So you must be aware of yourself. So being aware of your emotions, understanding who you are, how you feel, and how the emotions are influencing your reactions, your responses, and your decisions, your actions. Do you understand? It's very important. So the ability to understand yourself is a skill. Do you understand? Because not everybody that is aware of how they feel. They just react anyhow. They just respond to anything. Do you understand? Anyhow. And that escalates conflict. So understanding yourself, being aware of yourself is key. All right. So let's imagine, for instance, now that you are in a meeting, all right, and a colleague criticizes your proposal. Maybe there's a meeting that requires you to also bring your opinion and propose a set of a course of action. All right. So, and then somebody criticizes your own preposition or your proposal. All right, for instance. So now, how do you feel? All right. How do you react? How do you respond to this? All right. So instead of responding or instead of reacting defensively, what do? You recognize that your frustrations stem from feeling undervalued. Do you understand? You understand that, okay, yeah, you are making a lot of effort, you are contributing your own part of opinion, but it seems that your idea is not welcome, and that makes you feel undervalued. Do you understand? You feel undervalued despite your effort. No one recognizes your effort, so you feel undervalued. Do you understand? So by acknowledging these emotions, what happens? You can take a moment to collect your thoughts before responding. Do you understand? So you can take a moment, think about how you are feeling. You are being frustrated, right? You feel undervalued. So how are you feeling? To defend, to attack, or to communicate in a way that builds and corroborates with others? Do you understand? So if we give it a moment to think and put words together and then delete some words that you may likely use that you feel are not comfortable, then you will be able to communicate in a way that will build a team spirit, that will encourage what teamwork, that will promote harmony within the team. Do you understand? That's very important. So being aware of yourself and how you can apply it matters a lot. It's not just being aware of yourself, but how you apply it in situations that are challenging to you as a person and that are likely to escalate into deep disagreement and then conflict that may hinder the progress of the team is very important. So let's look at another strategy and one of the skills that you can deploy to manage or to resolve conflict is self-regulation. Self-regulation. We have talked about self-regulation because one thing is that when you understand yourself and how you feel and how your emotions are influencing you, then you activate and how you feel. All right. During a disagreement, for instance, with a team member about a project direction, your initial reaction might be to raise your voice. Yes, you want to raise your voice. That is initial reaction. Serious doing that, you take a deep breath and then calmly stating your viewpoint. Yes. Do you understand? To argue who is the, and then they begin to shout instead of arguing with point and arguing calmly. They begin to shout on top of their voice because it's not so. It's not. That's not how it's supposed to be. You can also say your point. Do you understand? But the matter is that this training that I am also participating in training you has also trained me more than, I don't know that it has trained me more than the way you have learned. I have learned a lot from this training, more than maybe I think any of you here has learned from me. Do you understand? And that is one of the impacts of training. Do you understand? Because you also train yourself. So instead of shouting, you make your point calmly without raising your voice. And it's very important. So this prevents escalation and encourages a more productive discussion, a more productive discussion. So, because there are some discussions that are not productive, you just end up shouting, and everybody shout, and then you get angry, and then you disappear. You get frustrated, say, I think this meeting was meant to be something useful, but it's a waste of time. I cannot be here. I cannot be here. Do you understand? So it's communicate calmly, and the other persons have not been able to communicate calmly, that resulted into wasted time, all right, and wasted energy. You understand? So when you are aware of yourself, then activate another gear, which is self-regulation. Do you understand? It's another skill that can help you to manage and resolve conflict in tense situation. When in a situation of heated argument, you are just calming yourself. Instead of reacting, you take your time and hold on, then respond calmly. Do you understand? Very important. Then empathy. Empathy is also another way. So a co-worker is upset about a missed deadline that affected their work. Instead of dismissing their feelings, you take the time to listen and acknowledge their frustrations by saying, I can see how that would be really disappointing, and which can help de-escalate the situation. All right. First and foremost, you try to understand with their feelings. Sometimes things, situations like this, sometimes are not easy. Sometimes the human try to advance itself. So, and that's the reason why you must regulate your emotion first before you respond. Otherwise, you end up blaming and dismissing somebody and then making them feel very, very, very even bad. Do you understand? It is better you should be accused of not maybe responding or maybe trying to sympathize with the person immediately, but it's better you sympathize with the person later than react immediately in the situation and then end up reacting and saying things that shouldn't have been said. Do you understand? So it's very important. So self-regulation plays a lot of important roles in this situation, because you should be able to control how you are feeling within you. Take your time, take a moment, and then you can respond. You can be able to sympathize. You can be able to empathize with somebody. You can be able to, demonstrate empathy in that kind of situation. criticizing or accusing or even blaming someone. Do you understand? So that's what it means. So it's better you should take your time first before you can respond. So social skills. Social skills. When conflicts arise, effective communication is key, because ability to communicate effectively, because 99% of conflicts happens as a result of poor communication. So your ability to communicate effectively reduces the chances of what conflict escalating. So if two team members are arguing over resources, you facilitate a discussion where each person, all right, can express their needs. They can express their need by guiding the conversation and ensuring everyone feels heard. Do you understand? So you help foster a collaboration or a collaborative environment. So that's what it means. So you give everybody, please hold on, let him speak. Do you understand? Maybe when somebody was trying to interrupt the discussion, say, no, hold on. Let him make his own point. Let him express himself before you can communicate. Then after the person finish speaking, this one speak. And if the other person also want to interrupt, you say, no, hold on. You were making your point, he did not interrupt you, so it's better you should not interrupt. Allow him also to make his own point. Do you understand? So by facilitating and mediating and coordinating this kind of conversation, it creates a collaborative, effective communication ensues, and then the chances of conflict or disagreement being escalated reduce. Do you understand? So social skills are very important. So you have to put your social skills together. Do you understand? Maybe one day we'll look at public speaking courses. Maybe we can bring somebody to feature in to also teach you something on public speaking, because some of us sometimes we need some of the skills to be able to do well in our careers. Very important. And then we also have leadership training courses as well. And I believe it will help you as well. So let's look at conflict resolution skills or strategies. All right. Suppose two departments are at odds over budget allocations. You can organize a meeting where both sides present their cases, all right, by focusing on shared goals and seeking win-win solutions, such as reallocating resources based on priorities. You help resolve. Do you understand? So you are in a situation whereby maybe you are one of the committee members that is in charge of resource allocation, and then one department is arguing why the certain department is being given so much, and then why this one is not given so much. Do you understand? And then such kind of argument and such kind of acrimony, and that organization. So you just invite the departments together. That's the people that represent the departments together for a meeting. What is happening? What are all this resentment? What are this discussion from the background? What are you saying? All right. What is your point? What is the challenge? So you ask questions and then they try to express. All right. We have a lot to do and the budget given to us is not enough. So priorities. What's the organizational goals? What are you trying to achieve? And what are the priorities? And who is in a position to take more? Do you understand? So you begin to break things down so to everybody's understanding and the reason why certain allocations were made. Do you understand? And if there's a need for you to on priorities and the overall goal and the expectations of the organization, you can still go ahead and do that kind of rearrangement and reallocation of resources. It's very important. And it's done in a professional and a constructive way. And by so doing, you resolve conflict constructively, no issue, and everybody go home smiling, no conflict, no resentment, no acrimony, nothing. Do you understand? And then build effective organization. It's very important. And if you notice that, don't wave it. Because sometimes what leaders do is that sometimes when they see things like this, they wave it. Say, forget about them, forget about them. I have made my own decision and it's final. call the parties involved together, let them know why certain resources will, because sometimes they may understand that this is the direction of the organization, but they don't understand the priorities and why a leader is looking at particular things. Do you understand? Very important. So let's look at emotional management. Emotional management. Emotional management is one of the keys that you need to apply to resolve conflict. In conflicting situation, you need to manage your emotions. All right. So, in managing the emotion and applying them, how do you go about it? So, in a high stress project, all right, tensions rise after a mistake. A mistake. Tension rise after what? A mistake. Do you understand? So, you notice that team morale is low. By acknowledging the stress and suggesting a theme check in to discuss feelings and solutions, you create an open environment where team members can express concerns and build, you know, camaraderie, and then create a situation whereby everybody feel, accommodated, and the tense situation also reduce. It's very, very important. Something happened yesterday, and I was supposed to respond in a fast pace, but I give it a time before I responded. Later, I was being blamed, and but I still accepted the blame and move on. But somehow, it was better that I did not respond immediately because I would have reacted instead. Do you understand? I would have reacted, and possibly I would have blamed someone. So instead of doing that, I hold on. I just put my two together before responding. So somehow it was better off than to accuse, than to blame, and then begin to look at, you know. So that's what it means. So sometimes you just have to balance things so that you will not end up taking the blame, that you not end up causing more problems. Because the situation that happened was emotional, situational issue. Do you understand? And I needed to step in. I stepped in when I came to know about it, but I just asked few questions. When I get the direction of where the thing was going, I have to pause so that I will not continue. If I continue, I'll end up blaming somebody or accusing somebody. So I pause. After a while, I resume taking steps towards it, and from there things go. But question feels that something better would have been done, or something nice words would have been used before the situation which I was trying to address later. But I think it was better than to blame. Do you understand? Uh-huh. So it's better to maintain silence in a situation where you are not sure, instead of rushing to respond, and then you end up just increasing the already tense situation, you know, create more emotional issues, and you understand. So it's better. But humanly, the nature of human being is that we are we are always quick to criticize and to blame. That is why for us in this country, nothing ever happens that we say, oh, something good is happening. All the times we're criticizing how the country is bad, how the country is this, how the leadership is bad. We have not taken time to appreciate the little aspect of what leadership is doing, or how certain areas where the country has improved, or anything like that. Do you understand? We have not. Every time is bad. Every time is bad. So how can it be good? So let's sometimes try to uh, just look at just just through the lens of observation, look at the areas that are working and say, well, as bad as it is, we appreciate the fact that this aspect is working, and this one is working, and this one is working. So let's just put our focus in and make sure that it works better. So I think that's how it should be. Do you understand? That's very important. So I hope you guys are following me. I really appreciate some of you that are sending your videos I expect that by Monday, all of us should be able to send our videos. And then, because we may write our exams on Saturday, it may be before Saturday. So just prepare immediately after our training. We continue with, we write our exams so that we know that we are done with emotional intelligence and focus on alternative dispute resolution. So please, whatever you need to do, do it so that it will not come and compress your activities. If you have a video to do, do it. And for the Peace Clinic, we have stopped. Those of you that were supposed to feature on Peace Clinic, just take it that we have stopped. In case there is any schedule for you to take, know that we have stopped because we discovered that people were not taking the schedule serious. So we decided to put it aside. But when it comes to alternative dispute resolution, we are going to use that we are going to use Peace Clinic as your assignment. So once you participate in it, we'll give you some marks. Do you understand? So everybody will participate. So we'll give you marks. So that's what we're going to do, so that everybody will participate. So when you participate in Peace Clinic, we now give you marks. So maybe we'll now take exams to be 70%, and Peace Clinic will now be 30%. Do you understand? So once you participate in it, you have 30% marks. So I think with that, it will also motivate you to do more, because we're giving you enough venue where you come and practice what you are learning. And by so doing, you can learn more from it. Even if what you think you understood, you can still do better and learn something from it, and then also improve from it as well. So that was what we're trying to achieve. Not that we're very tight situation. Some will send their pictures, but when it's time, there's no preparation, there's nothing. So it's not good. It's not good. So we're going to look at techniques for effective communication and active listening during conflict resolution. Techniques for effective communication and active listening during conflict resolution. We have been discussing effective communications and active listening throughout this, but now we're talking specifically in conflict resolution. When it comes to conflict resolution, when it comes to resolving conflict, because we experience conflicts maybe possibly every day. Do you understand? It doesn't matter the level, minor, serious, or more serious conflicts we have been experiencing. So now, but the issue is, how do we effectively communicate in conflicting situations, and how do we listen also effectively in conflict situation, and most especially when you are making effort to resolve the conflict. So let's look at some of the techniques that you can use for effective communication. Use I statement. One, use I statement. Use I statement. Use I statement. I statement. Do you understand? It's very important. For example, instead of saying, you never listen to me, you never listen to me. Say, I feel unheard when my ideas aren't acknowledged. Do you understand? I feel unheard when my ideas aren't acknowledged. Because when you say, you never listen to me, it means that you're accusing somebody. You're also blaming somebody. Do you understand? And that may attract a negative response or a defensive response from the other party. Do you understand? So that is why we should not do it that way. So I feel unheard when my ideas are not acknowledged. Do you understand? I think it's better. So this approach reduces defensiveness and focuses on your own feelings. You are discussing how you feel, and you are not also trying to defend anything, or you are not trying to, or accuse anybody. So it's better. That's number one techniques. Use what? I statement. I statement. Number two techniques is be clear and concise. Be clear and concise. Do you understand? Be concise in your communication. Be clear. Be specific. Be straightforward. No beating around the bush. You go beat around the bush as if you want to toast. You know, in those days, we want to toast ladies. You know what we'll do now? We'll come. How far now? So where you go like this? I always see you passing here. How far? Can I see you? Oh, that talk waiting carry you come now. Don't tell I'm stressed. I've been seeing you pass here and I like you. I want us to be friends. Simple as that. And they see you pass here. Where are you going? Is that your business? But these are the things we used to do. Do you understand? So, so we in communicating effectively, be clear and be what? Concise. Don't beat around the bush. Don't use jargons. Do you understand? To communicate. So avoid jargon and be straightforward. Clearly state your viewpoint to minimize misunderstanding. Do you understand? So, for example, instead of saying that approach doesn't work for me, that approach doesn't work for me, specify what doesn't work and suggest an alternative. For instance, now you say, oh, I prefer lecture on Facebook than on YouTube, or I prefer lecture on YouTube than Facebook. Do you understand? So these are the things. So these are the issues. So enjoy it. We would have tried to use, maybe we would have said, okay, let's consider using Zoom, but many people do complain of connecting problems. So it's better we use people. Well, people are always on Facebook. People are always on YouTube. Do you understand? So it's better and it's easy to connect. It's easy to access network here than other channels. So we place it here so everybody can join. Everybody can join. Just so as you want to learn, you can join. You understand? So be clear and be concise. So that's why it is. So don't say things ambiguous words like I don't like that approach. Which approach? State the approach you don't like and make a suggestion of what you like. Do you understand? It's very concise and clear. Maintain a calm tune. Maintain what? A calm tune. Very important. Your tune can greatly influence the interaction. Speak calmly and respectfully, even if emotions are high, even if you feel as if they are boiling water in your heart, or your heart is on fire. You just want to you want to cut somebody's head. That is, you want to break somebody's head, but you still take your time and then you say, well, I understand how it feels. I think we can be able to resolve this in a very simple way, so that we cannot be, misunderstood and disagreed to a point that will become so disagreeable. Do you understand? So you just maintain your tune as normal voice. You don't raise it. You don't. So use a steady voice and avoid raising it, which can escalate tensions. So avoid blame and accusations. Another way to ensure effective communication and active listening, or effective communication, another techniques that you can use is what? Avoid blame and accusations. Like I told you, in human nature, sometimes can easily blame, criticize, and accuse. Sometimes we make this kind of generalization. Our leaders are corrupt. But is it every leader that is corrupt? If care is not taken, there are some of them that are just focusing on what is accrued to them. Do you understand? They are not taking much, or they are not stealing anything. Do you understand? Even though they are operating in an environment that is so corrupt, but that does not necessarily mean that they are also corrupt. Do you understand? So, but you can only defend what you know. So, but sometimes we make this kind of generalization. Do you understand? So we accuse, we blame, we criticize. That's human nature. And that is an improper way of doing things. But today you are a professional person now. Maybe you try to adjust your communication style. Do you understand? Your way of approaching issues. Because by the time we certify you as a certified professional, give you a professional, certified professional diploma in emotional intelligence, then you should start behaving like a professional, start communicating like a professional, not accusing, blame games, criticism. If you are somebody that love to criticize before, just calm down. Don't criticize easily. Always make your point. Well, I know that the administration is not going as expected, but let's hope that there will be improvement. Instead of saying that the administration is not doing anything, they are just corrupt people, they are just eating our money, they don't care about us, they are just buying cars, they are just building houses for themselves, they are just packing our money and shipping in foreign currencies. And these are the things we used to say always, right? So, but we say, well, administration is confronting its challenges. Do you understand? But let's hope that they improve. I also used to criticize. In this class, I have criticized. You understand? That is human nature. You understand? So that is what it means. So avoid blame and accusation. Use neutral language to express your concerns without making the other persons feel attacked. Instead of you always mess things up. You always mess things up. Try, I noticed there was a mistake in the report, and I would like to discuss how we can fix it if possible. But like I told you, even myself, we criticize, we blame. So ask open-ended questions. Ask open-ended questions. So encourage dialogue by asking questions that require more than a yes or no answers. Do you understand? Encourage dialogue by asking questions that require more than a yes or no. Open-ended questions that will make someone to talk, discuss, say something. All right. So example, what are your thoughts on this issue? What are your thoughts on this issue? What do you have to say concerning this matter? You understand? Invites a more in-depth response. So once you ask these kind of questions, it gives one opportunity to respond and give their own viewpoints and bring out in-depth ideas that will help to solve the problem or address the issue you want to address. All right, so let's look at techniques for active listening. That's techniques for effective communication, right? Let's look at techniques for effective listening. Give full attention, like you are doing now. I believe some of you are giving me full attention to listen to what I'm saying, right? And that's why you can paraphrase. That's why you can, make constructive comment in line with what you are learning. So it shows that you are giving me your full attention. But if you are among those that are not giving me full attention, you just know that you are doing something wrong. Based on the principles of this training, it means that you are doing something wrong. So what do? Don't connect and then be gisting with family members. Or you can connect and if something needs your attention, you attend to it urgently and then return to continue to focus on the training. Do you understand? So because when you are in the house, definitely you'll be distracted here and there. Instead, you have your own personal room to lock yourself inside and avoid distraction. Otherwise, that kind of distraction. You understand? It's that kind of distraction that make me to be in the office. So I would have been at home now discussing with you. Do you understand? So these are the issues. So, but as much as possible, in a situation that needs your full attention, cooperate, pay full attention, and discuss the issue. Do you understand? Discuss the issue. Discuss the issue. Listen. Listen and listen and listen and listen attentively. Only when you listen that you can understand. Only when you listen that you can empathize. Only when you listen that you can put someone's perspective into consideration. Reflect back, paraphrase what the speaker has said to show understanding and clarify any miscommunication. Reflect back, paraphrase. Some of you are doing it already. Paraphrasing what I'm saying to show that you are following. Do you understand? If I give opportunity to say something, you say, in your teaching, you say so. Do you understand? So based on this and this and this, then you make your own contribution. So it shows that you are listening. So for example, so what I heard you saying is that you are frustrated with the timeline. Is that correct? You even can ask questions in trying to even respond. Do you understand? Just to make sure that the person knows that you understood what he was saying. And in case what you understood is not what the person meant, by this, the person will be able to say what he meant. Do you understand? So that throw more clarification so that you know what the person is trying to say. I think we are together now. So let's look at ask clarifying questions. Ask clarifying questions. All right. If something isn't clear, ask questions to ensure you understand the speaker's perspective. So ask questions. When you ask questions, inquiry is not a wrong thing. Make an inquiry. Ask questions. Relevant question, not useless question, because some people, when they want to ask questions, they ask questions out of context. And asking questions out of context is one of the signs of inactive listening. Just now, you are not listening actively. Once you ask questions out of context, it means that you were not listening. That is just the indication. And if it's me, I will still ask you a question back. You ask me a question out of context, I will still ask you another question. So that's what it means. So, but if you are so emotionally intelligent enough to respond calmly, you can respond to the person by saying, well, I think the question you asked is outside what we're discussing. What we're discussing is this and this and this and this and that. And by so doing, we help the person to understand more so that you not put the person into total darkness. You understand? But there are some people that will ask you questions and make you confused, and then you remain in that confusion. So that is what it means. So, example, can you explain what you meant by that? Help deepens your understanding. I think you understand. So, acknowledge feelings, realize and recognize the emotions behind the words to show empathy and validate the other person's feelings. So, example, it sounds like this situation has been really stressful for you. Do you understand? It sounds like this situation has been really stressful for you. But I think we can do better. I must tell you, we can do better. Because as I'm discussing this subject matter with you, I'm also looking at my lapses. Do you understand? I'm just looking at also my own lapses as a person as well. And I don't know whether you're also looking at your own lapses as well. It doesn't matter your age. This one doesn't respect age. Because even people with white beards and white hair, still communicate anyhow. And I think that's what one of Job's friends says. I thought that wisdom comes with age, but with the way people are behaving here now, saying to this Job that is suffering now, it seems that people lack wisdom. He was a younger friend of Job. Do you understand? So I think some of these things I'm saying here, it doesn't matter your age. You may discover that if you look very well, you discover that you have your own absence as well, based on the training. And if your gaze is as right as I'm saying here, then it means that we have work to do. We have one room in the world that is very, very big, is the room for improvement. So you can still improve. It doesn't matter at whatever level you find yourself. You understand? So altogether, avoid interrupting. When you are listening, avoid what? Interrupting. Somebody speaking and then you jump into the middle and you interrupt the person. Not correct. That's an error in communication, an error in listening. All right. It's against the principles of listening. The principle of listening says you should listen to the fullness before you say your own point. And that is why some people, when you want to stop some people, say, please allow me to land first. Or some people may even use terms like, let me die before you bury me. Do you understand? Because they never say their point, then you want to, interrupt them. So they ask you to wait first. Do you understand? So sometimes in a situation like that, it's resulting to certain argument, and before you know it, discussion ends. And ends in infertility. Do you understand? That's what it means. So allow the speaker to finish their thoughts before responding. Interrupting can lead to misunderstanding and increase what? Tension. That is so summarize. Another thing you need to do, another techniques in listening is summarize. All right. At the end of the conversation, summarize the key point discussed to confirm understanding and agreement on next steps. Do you understand? Summary. In summary, we have said, in summary for today, what have we covered? We are looking at, we look at the strategies you can put in place to resolve conflicts using emotional intelligence, right? And then we're looking at now the techniques you can use to communicate effectively and the techniques you can use. So this is what we have discussed. Now, this is my summary. I hope you understood. It's a very straightforward summary now. So, but generally, for you to be able to communicate effectively, or for your communication to be termed effectively, or effective communication, then it must, embrace these principles or take course here. For you as a listener to be considered as an effective listener, then these techniques must be embedded, must be embraced. That's the only way we can say that you are a good listener. So, are we together? If you are following me, let me know that you are following me. And if you have just joined us, you can also do way to share this to someone else so that they can also be part of this training. Consistency is very key in all we do. If you are not consistent, you'll not be able to achieve results that you want to achieve.